Welcome back, Flare community. I hope you're well and having an incredible day. It's absolutely great to see the chat absolutely popping. You know what time it is. It's the TDE. We're going to do the usual weekly news, but we're also going to have a bit of a Q&A afterwards. Yes, today, a very exciting day. It's been a long time coming. You know, we've been here for quite a while, almost, well, just over 2 years now, and it's great to see things really getting started and heating up. So we're going to start with the news. We're going to blitz through that, and then we're going to go for a bit of a Q&A. After that, we're going to chat on the Discord in the run-up to the TDE itself. And if you want to join the Discord, there is a link in the description. And after that, once we get to the TDE, I'm pretty sure that the Flare team are actually hosting something themselves on Twitter, and I wouldn't mind giving that a bit of a watch. So let's jump into the news. I'm sure you are all aware now that the TDE is just around the corner, the token distribution event, and it's about to happen really, just under 2 hours now, and everyone will start receiving the FLR. Now, just to taper expectations, I see people in the comments already getting a little bit ahead of themselves. The TDE, it's not going to happen instantly. This is going to be an ongoing process. And I've heard, if I recall correctly, that it's going to take about a couple of hours for everyone to get the FLR, okay? It's not going to be an instant thing. So that's just something to be aware of. And, you know, here's something else to be aware of, actually. Beware of scams. So, you know, FLR and the Flare network, they're getting a lot of attention recently, obviously because of the excitement surrounding the TDE. Just be careful about the people that may be imitating the Flare network's team. Never share your secret phrase. It should always remain a secret. So we're going to start things off and absolutely blitz through this news today, and I'm going to hammer it, and then we're going to get to the Q&A. So Flare metrics, you guys know the score. Let's give it a quick refresh. I'm going to check who are the top signal providers this epoch. And it's going to be very interesting because this is the first epoch since the Songbird proposal went through, okay? So topping the chart, it's the mystery one. I think this might be Flare.Spaces. I'm not sure. In second place, we've got Atlas TSO. Third place, another anonymous one. Fourth place, we have Oracle Swap. And in fifth place, we have 01 FTSO. And it sort of makes sense that some of these anonymous ones are topping the charts right now because a lot of people don't know how to actually delegate to them. And I'm going to create a video for you guys that may want to delegate to some of these who are not on the default list on Bifrost. So moving on, yes, I just wanted to mention that actually the Songbird proposal passed and the delegation vote cap has been reduced to 2.5. And as I said in this video, anything over 2.5, it doesn't actually count. So your rewards are actually getting diluted. So that's always something to consider when you come over to Flare metrics and you're checking your delegations and making your decisions. You see this vote cap here. Let's sort that by descending. You can see here that AFTSO is heavily oversubscribed, let's say, and that's why their reward rate is so low. But in general, if we switch up here, it's great to see that this reward rate is being more evenly distributed between a lot more signal providers. So I'm happy to see that, and I really think that you guys should too, because the decentralization of the FTSO in exchange for a little bit less rewards is only a good thing in my eyes. Moving on, we have the NFT sales. We'll do a quick refresh of this and have a quick check. Topping the charts is the Oracles. Second place, we have the Loyalists collection, and that's all the Samurai NFTs and all that good stuff. Third place, we have the Sparkles Genesis collection. Fourth place, we have the Fat Tigers. And finally, in fifth place, NATO NFTs. He does all of the AI generated NFTs. So happy days for them, and congratulations to making it into the top 5. This is an interesting tool, which I think you're going to be using a little bit more in the future. This is FTSO Flare Monitor, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in a future video. But as you can see on Flare Metrics, there isn't actually any way to switch over to the Flare network just yet. I'm sure they're working on it, and I'm sure it will be available soon. I guess it really doesn't make any sense right now because the TDE hasn't happened. So if that is not available, we're also going to have this as a backup. So I'll let you know if that is the case. Again, I mentioned the scams, and this is just a gentle reminder. Flare does not have a support team, and there is no way to get FLR earlier than everyone else, unless you're expecting it on Coinbase. But anyway, there's no promotions to double or triple your FLR. This is a common scam. You know, send me 1 million FLR and I'll give you 2 million back. No, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And also, it is too late to claim or be included in the snapshots. The snapshots was for XRP holders back in 2020. And, you know, if someone messages you saying, yo, you can still get in, it's not the case. All you need to remember is always keep your secret phrase a secret. The clue's in the name, okay? And if you do that, you're pretty much safe. Here we go. I just found this absolutely hilarious. You know, no one really knows what's going on outside of our little community. They don't know that the FLR airdrop is today in less than 2 hours. They're happily going along with their lives. But if you're excited, that's a great thing. Don't hide your excitement for anyone, okay? This is an interesting one from Stedas XRP Crow, talking about the Flare Epoch lifecycle. And I've gone through this in a specific video, but just a quick recap for those who may be hiding under a rock. The Flare epochs are going to be different from the Songbird epochs, and the main difference is that they're going to be half of the time. So each epoch is going to last 3.5 days, and, you know, as always, if you want to ensure that your delegation is locked in, be sure to delegate in the first half of the epoch, because the second half is where the lock-in block occurs. Moving on, we have some news here from Sparkles, probably the leading NFT marketplace on Songbird. They're actually live on the Flare network now, and I believe they've deployed all their contracts and have everything running. And yeah, that's great news. So they're going to be first to market in terms of NFTs. And another first to market is BlazeSwap, who are going to be the first decentralized exchange available on Flare. So the interesting thing about BlazeSwap is that it's actually going to be fully open source, right? And there is no reward token, and it's sort of, I guess, like it's going to be a community-driven one where, you know, with FLR Finance and Oracle Swap, their code is private, right? No one can see what's happening, but BlazeSwap is going to be completely open source, which I quite like. Got some news here from Bifrost this week, and you can now use unstoppable Web3 domains in the Bifrost wallet. And some of you may not know what this actually means. It's basically just a user-friendly way to type in an address. So in comparison to sending something to 0xF5 capital B, 9 lowercase b, blah, 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 you're actually able to send it to bifrostwallet.nft. So similar to like an email address, right? So this is, again, another step in the right direction when it comes to, I guess, being user-friendly and removing that barrier to entry. More news from Bifrost coming in here. Have you spotted our new Songbird and Flare delegation views? These definitely make sense. I'm not sure if you've used them yet. I have, and I'm actually working on a ultimate guide for delegating FLR. But you guys that are watching this, I'm sure you're all up to date, because if you've been delegating on Songbird, it's the exact same process. So anyways, stay tuned for that video because it's coming soon. I'm going to be working on it as soon as I get some FLR, and I'll likely drop it within the next, I don't know, 6 hours. I'm not going to sleep until I get that done. More news here from wallet integrations. Atomic Wallet is going to support Flare networks in mid-January, as well as the FLR delegation functionality. So that's great. And, you know, the more wallets that have support, the better. And as far as I'm aware, we've pretty much got all of the top wallets. I mean, there's Ledger, there's Decent, and obviously Bifrost, and we've got Solidify as well, which is a new kid on the block. Speaking of Ledger, they've actually just integrated FLR support for Ledger Live, and Ledger Live is the software that you use to, I guess, interact with your Ledger. And this, for clarity, it's not going to include delegation and wrapping and all that good stuff. It's basically just the functionality to send and receive FLR from Ledger Live. If you have a Ledger and you want to interact with Web3 enabled websites, you need to access it through a browser, just like you would any other website. And in order to do that, you're going to need MetaMask, an extension for your browser, which is going to allow you to connect your wallet. Hey, we've got James Mansfield. Welcome to the Flare community family, my friend. Thank you for becoming a member. Very much appreciated. Actually, just a quick heads up. I'm not sure if you guys are aware that the next 3 months, or the first quarter of this year, I've actually chosen to donate all of these super chats to charity. So yeah, if you're into helping the children, all that charity good stuff, just know that the next 3 months worth of donations are actually going to save the children. So happy days. Moving on here, what do we have next? We have the FLR Finance. So they've just released the Ori wallet on the Flare network, and this is basically the first multi-sig wallet on Songbird, and obviously now the Flare network. A multi-sig wallet is great for security, and if you are going to experiment with this, I would highly recommend that you start with just a few SGB in your account, start it on the Songbird network, and just try it and make sure that you understand exactly what's happening, because if you set it up wrong, you could be in a bit of a predicament, okay? More news from FLR Finance, or Thanasimos to be precise. This is just a gentle reminder of the upcoming DFLR airdrop, which is actually going to be partially based on FLR. So we can see the breakdowns here. The lion's share is going to be going to holders of XFi. So this is again another FLR Finance token. If you're holding XFi, you're going to be eligible, but only the XFi that's held either in your wallet or FLR Finance like pools, right? If you're using pools in other applications such as Pangolin Decentralized Exchange or Oracle Swap, that's going to be excluded from the airdrop. So do just bear that in mind. Regarding this, the window for the snapshots is now open because it's going to be based on the TDE. So once everyone has the FLR, it could potentially happen. Now, I'm going to create a video on this and speculate when I think it might happen. I don't think it's going to happen straight away because there's a lot of FLR still on exchanges. Well, it's not even being distributed yet. I think they're going to wait for people to take it off of exchanges. And yeah, I'm going to do a video on that, so stay tuned. News from some exchanges. We've got OKX, one of the top tier exchanges, announcing support for FLR and also the trading. So trading starts at 4 a.m. UTC, so that's 4 hours after the TDE. And we also have Nexo. We've got Bitrue, Bitrue, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But something that I did want to point out here is that they're doing staking available. 7% APY for a 30-day lockup. Wow. No, I'm only kidding. If you're going to be staking on FL or on Bitrue, I'd highly recommend against it, because if you're in the know, you can definitely get a higher percent reward delegating yourself, and you remain the custodian of your assets, okay? Don't get tempted in with these APIs, which are much lower than delegation, okay? And for those who were here from the beginning on the Songbird network, you'll actually remember that the very first epochs are the most rewarding. Hey, we got Jay in the house. Welcome to the family. Thank you very much for supporting the channel and becoming a member. Obviously, you got access to all them cool emojis. More coming as well, so stay tuned for that. So what else do we have? Yes, 1 hour, 45 minutes. So we're getting pretty close right now. I'm excited, and I hope that you are too. And this is what I wanted to mention at the start of the stream. If we look here, join the Fleur team and guests on Twitter tomorrow, meaning today. The distribution starts at, 1 minute to midnight here in the UTC time, and the stream will start a few minutes before. So I personally want to check this out. I think it'll be interesting. It's not going to be a Spaces. I think it's going to be a live stream, similar to what they did when they did the huge roadmap update. But until then, like I said, we're going to do a bit of a Q&A because I'm sure there's people with questions in the chat. And then we're going to do that for a bit. And then after that, we're going to come over to Discord. And in Discord, we normally have the members exclusive chat. But this week, because it's a special occasion, we're going to open it up for all, and you can find it at the bottom here. It's going to be on the community stage. So as I said before, there is a link in the description if you are interested with that. So that pretty much rounds up the news. I did try and blitz through that pretty fast. I am a little bit out of breath. So yeah, what we'll do now is we'll head over to a good old chill stream. We'll knock it back a few gears, put the foot on the brakes, get some chilled music going. We can check out the prices here, and I guess just see what questions are going. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat. And let me know if the audio mix is a little bit too high, if you need it turning down a little bit so you can hear my voice, all of that good stuff. So let me get things sorted here. Apologies. Just so I can bring it onto my main screen so I'm not twisting my neck. Here we go. Right. Oh, hold up. We got some crazy stuff happening with the chat. Give me a second. Wow. It really is confusing. Just give me a second, please, guys. It won't be long. There we go. I think I can see it. Let's get rid of that. Perfect. Right. So let's see what chats we got. So let me know. When DFLR snapshot from Red Bull Vodka. We don't actually know when the snapshot's going to be. And this is something that I really like, actually. It means that it's going to be announced retroactively. So the snapshot's going to occur for DFLR, and then they're going to say, look, guys, the snapshot occurred, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago. And that way it sort of controls the, I guess, the impact on the price, right? Not just for FLR, but for X-Fi too. Is the first 15% coming wrapped? I'm not sure if it is. I think it will be distributed as FLR and not wrapped FLR, same as how the Songbird was distributed. How much will be airdropped each month? That's a good question, Professor. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. Yeah, it's in terms of percentage, it's going to be just under 3%, I believe. Let me just do a quick calculation right here. 85, that's going to be percent divided by 36. So it's going to be 2.36% every single week, okay? And that's of the distribution supply. Do we delegate in Bifrost? Yeah, you'll be able to delegate in Bifrost, of course. And as I said, I'm going to have the ultimate delegation guide coming out soon. And actually, while we're here, I would love to just remind you guys to give a like. And if you are new here, please feel free to subscribe, because I'm going to be creating content, and have been for the past 2 years, all surrounding both Songbird and the Fleur network. So stay tuned for more videos. Is FLR going to be the next Quant? Potentially, Mr. Bigmans. I think there are subtle differences, but I guess they are both targeting interoperability. So yeah, it's going to be... I think Fleur has some unique concepts. Hey, we've got Sil Bride. Thank you very much for the support and welcome to the family. Be sure to join the Discord because we have a ton of exclusives there, exclusive rooms and all that good stuff. And obviously the chats, which you can get a lot of information. We've got all of the mod squad in the house and they are extremely helpful in answering people's questions. So if you are after a quick answer, I'm normally pretty responsive on Twitter, but the Discord is an absolute wealth of information, an absolute treasure trove. We've got so many knowledgeable people there who are always happy to help. John George, why does it still show it's an experimental product suite for Fleur Finance or FLR Finance? That's because it's only deployed on the Songbird network, which is an experimental product. Once it's launched on Fleur, I'm sure you will see that warning go away. Hey, we've got Yoda in the house. Hope you are well, my friend, and excited for the TDE. Here we go. We got Crypto Holder 68 in the house. Does FLR go to MetaMask each month, even though I'm sending mine to Bifrost? This really depends on the outcome of the proposal. So if the proposal doesn't pass, you're going to receive FLR to the wallet, which you initially received the 15%. If the proposal does pass, it's going to be from the wallet which you delegate from. Lone Wolf, yeah, that depends on the proposal. So if you don't wrap, you don't get the other 85%. That's true if the proposal passes, but if the proposal doesn't pass, you'll continue to receive FLR to the wallet that you initially see this 15% distribution to. How do we claim on Ledger Nano S? So I get this question a lot, right? And this is from Shiv Yogi. How do we claim on the Ledger Nano S? So I'm assuming that you mean that you've gone through the claim process with XRP and you've set your Ethereum address of your ledger. All you have to do is log into that account, so your ledger account, and you're going to connect it to the Fleur network. You can do that mainly through MetaMask if you want to, sort of interact with Web3 sites like NFT marketplaces and DeFi. But I'm going to be creating a video on that in the next maybe 5 or 6 hours or so. Hey, we've got Keith in the house. Welcome to the family, my friend. Thank you very much for the support. I've got Jason, Scam IOU, and I'll just say this to the moderators as well. This is, I guess, just an opinion. This is vague, bordering on the edge of putting someone in timeout, because it's not really constructive. But I'm happy to address this. I'm happy to hear people's opposing opinions, but I don't want no slander or anything like that. But that's on the edge. If you see anyone else that's doing anything crazy, please feel free to just put them in timeout. But yeah, to address this, the IOU is an IOU, right? It's a representation of FLR. This means that it's not really FLR. And even though the price has decreased, it's only the holders of the IOU who are trading this, right? None of the Fleur team have been holding XRP on BitTrue in 2020 and, have all this FLR. This is strictly from the holders, and the FLR team are not responsible for any of the IOUs. It doesn't actually represent FLR. Yeah, so for people with, and I found this as a very interesting, I guess, correlation, right? I've been talking quite a lot on Twitter these days about the upcoming proposal, and for the people that oppose it, generally it's normally people who haven't actually read the proposal. So all I ask for people who are yet to formulate an opinion on the proposal, make sure that you read it before you formulate that opinion, because there's a lot of people that have an opinion but they don't necessarily know all the facts. You know, just off the bat, some of the main benefits for the proposal is this idea of removing the reliance on exchanges for the next 36 months. You know, we've seen what's happened to Voyager, Celsius, and even Coinbase, the fact that they're taking up to 6 months to distribute. You know, if you want to be in full control of your assets, you have to hold it in a wallet that you control, right? Hey, Dr. Bob D, thank you for the congratulations. We just passed 60K. We actually did this prior to the stream. And for everyone that's holding one of the 50K NFTs, I haven't forgot, we've got an NFT ready to launch, and I'm going to launch a poll in the next coming, I don't know, hours to see if you want it minted on the Flare network or the Songbird network. But yeah, that's an airdrop for everyone that's holding that particular NFT. So yeah, it's been pretty crazy the past couple of days, if I'm honest, in terms of growth of the channel and on Twitter. There's been some real excitement, you know, just within the community running up to this TDE. Actually, guys, you know, I just thought of something which I think would make a nice addition. I'm gonna get the sorry, there's a police sirens outside. Don't worry, it's going to pass. But I'm going to get the countdown on the screen. So if you just bear with me, I'm not going to be able to look at the comments while I sort of add this in. And yeah, I think it's going to be a nice addition. We can add the countdown. You're going to see some funky stuff happening on the screen. But don't worry, I'm working on it. Right, give me a second. There we go. Apologies for that. There we go. Something like this, maybe. Yeah. Right. Hopefully that loads in a second. Might have to give it a refresh. Let's see if it works, and if it does, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's crop that bit out there. There we go. So you guys are up to date with what's actually going on. We've got a countdown, 1 hour, 32 minutes to go. So apologies for that little intermission. Not that great at multitasking, as I'm sure most of you will attest to. Doug, I guess, Do69, asking if we will receive rewards only on epoch number 3. And that's a great question and something that is great to remind people of. Yes, so the first 2 epochs, they're not going to accrue any rewards, or they will, but the rewards are actually going to be burnt. Okay, so if you do want to earn delegation rewards, you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to delegate before Friday, I believe, this upcoming Friday. And if you do that, you'll get the maximum or one of the biggest rewards, because the first epoch is always the biggest. Yeah, Doc, I'm with you here. A couple of weeks until it really stabilizes. I'm sure that's relating to the price. It's going to be pretty volatile, especially in the next 24 hours, because, as I said, this is just an IOU. But, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how the price is affected once it hits really liquid exchanges and more of this FLR comes into circulation. Yep, Cryptonaut epochs are only 3.5 days. It's half the time of that on Songbird. Songbird being a full week. How and where do we delegate, says Lone Wolf? Well, it really depends on the application that you're using. If you're using Bifrost or Decent or Solidify, you're going to be able to delegate directly from the browser. If you're using a Ledger device, you can go to a number of different Web3 sites that allow you to delegate, and some of the most, I guess my favorite is probably FTSO AU. They have a really good site. Yeah. Julius Max, will selling your delegation rewards affect the rest of your distribution? Again, any questions about the future distribution? It depends on the outcome of the proposal, because the proposal dictates how the rest of the distribution will go. So until we know the method of distribution until it's been solidified, there's going to be two different options. Can you sell your rewards, says D? Of course, this is the thing, you're free to do anything else. And people say, I'm locked in to having to hold my FLR if the proposal passes, but you're not. There's no lockup. You're free to sell them if you want, but the consequences of that, if the proposal passes, is that you won't see future rewards. So again, you're free to do whatever you like. There is no lock or restrictions in that sense. You've just got to weigh up the pros and cons, I guess. Jay is asking, what is the countdown site? Give me a second. I'll find it and I'll post it in the chat for you. There we go. XRP, Dan, so far I'm voting no in that proposal. Yeah, some people do have that opinion, and this is the beautiful thing about governance, right? Everyone's free to make up their own opinions, and then, we're going to see what the results is, and the holders of FLR are collectively going to dictate the outcome. Hey, what's up, Anxiety? Great to see you here, my friend. Lots of interesting stuff happening with Fat Cats. I joined a Twitter space yesterday. I'm looking forward to that in real life event. Not sure if I'm going to make it because it is in New York. So Death Ranger, I don't know, maybe you'll be able to make it. I know you're a New York citizen. Senor Steak, when is the proposal supposed to start and for how long? That's a good question. We don't actually know yet. It's obviously going to be happening sometime after today because you need FLR to vote. But the last proposal on Songbird took 1 week. So that's, I guess, the only hint that we have. I'm not sure when it's going to start, but I guess we'll see. Hey, we've got Darren Moore Jr. in the house. Hope you're excited, man. Thank you for putting out all of that great content. And if any of you don't know, Darren Moore is one of the absolute XRP OGs, one of the greats, one of the legends. He's one of the people that inspired me to make this channel, actually. So great to have you here, my friend. Attilas, assuming the proposal passes, can I sell then buy back a day later without negative consequences? Yeah, of course. So if the proposal passes, it doesn't matter how you acquire your FLR, where it comes from, if you buy it on an exchange or if you're changing wallets, any of that. It's basically just going to be based on how much WFLR you have wrapped. And I've heard a lot of people saying, well, how does Flare know that this is my FLR? It really doesn't matter, right? Because the information about how much FLR is delegated, it's all public and it's accessible by smart contracts, and that's how the distribution is going to occur. It's going to look at who's got all of the how many wallets have WFLR in their account, and then it's going to be based on that ratio. So if you hold, okay, let me put it like this, because I said this in Discord, right? If no one wrapped FLR, and there was only one person who wrapped one FLR, right? This one person wrapped one FLR, which is probably worth at the minute, 24 cents. That one FLR would account for 100% of the wrapped WFLR, right? And that would mean that they would get 100% of the distribution for that week, which is, I think we brought it up earlier. Let me just quickly... that would account for 2.36% of all of the WFLR, because it's 2.36% every single month. That's going to get shared between everyone that has WFLR in the wallets. And if it's only one person, they'll get that amount, which is, obviously millions. But that's an extreme example. There's obviously going to be more people than just one who has WFLR in their wallet. Mr. WSJ 2009 _ MetaMask is still not showing my Flare yet. So, yep, that's pretty much expected. If you check in the top left, you're going to see this Flare distribution event and a countdown. That's the countdown for the Flare token distribution event, the Flare TDE. currently looking at just under 1 hour and 25 minutes. And once this happens, you know, like I said before, it's not going to be instantly. You can't, you know, the amount of transactions is going to be equal to the amount of accounts on the XRP ledger that went through the claim process, and then some for the exchanges as well. So this is going to be, I don't know, millions, let's say, right? And the transaction throughput of the Flare network is not 1 million per, you know, second, right? So it's going to be an ongoing process, and they've estimated that it's going to take about 2 hours. So still pretty fast if you think about it. Greg Ward, do you know when the F asset system will be ready to use? F assets, it's going to be a long time for F assets. The first thing that we're going to see is S assets on the Songbird network, right? So S assets are coming first, and we still don't know when that's going to be. I imagine it's going to be quite some time, you know. I'm hoping maybe like 3 to 6 months, but I'm not holding my breath. I'm just going to wait for some more information from whoever chooses to develop it or is developing it. Coinbase didn't drop. No one's dropped anything yet because the distribution event hasn't occurred. That's what the countdown in the top left is. But Coinbase have committed to doing or participating in the Flare airdrop, but they do have this one stipulation that they're going to have up to 6 months to do so. So I say up to, it doesn't mean 6 months. It means any time from tonight right up to the last day in June. Matthew wants to check if it's safe to move immediately from MetaMask to Bifrost. He doesn't want to miss out on the first epoch. Of course, it's completely fine. If the proposal doesn't pass, then you're going to continue to receive in MetaMask. And if it does pass, you're going to be able to wrap in Bifrost and then continue to receive the distribution rewards from there. Hey, Cryptonaut, giving everyone a friendly reminder, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to be creating content on Songbird and Flare network. I've been doing so for just over 2 years now, and obviously many more videos to come in the future. Every Monday we have these weekly news updates, and we have the Patreon chats. We've got chats on Thursday, and that's straight after the Poker Club live stream, and yeah, we normally have a couple of videos thrown in there, sprinkled in within the week. Eric Smith, how do we get the FLR Bifrost wallet? I can't even see FLR ticker in my wallet. Yeah, so you should be able to see it. You might need to update your application, but if you go on to receive, I think, and then if you search for the asset FLR, but stay tuned, I'm going to have an ultimate guide coming out very soon. Once I have my FLR, and you know, maybe I guess in a couple of hours, I'm going to continue working on this video, which is going to be taking you through the full process for multiple wallets. So that's going to be Bifrost, it's going to be Decent, it's going to be MetaMask, it's going to be what else do we have? Solidify, all that good stuff. I'm going to cover it all, okay? So stay on the lookout for that, and I'll make sure that it's out before I go to bed. So in that way, in that case, you're going to be ensured to be ready for the first epoch that gives rewards, which is the third epoch. D-Tucker, if the vote passes, will we receive our 85 and delegation rewards? Yeah, of course. So I see this sometimes actually, where people on Twitter, they get a little bit aggy, a little bit salty, and they're saying, you know, the 85% has been robbed from them. That's not the case, right? So 100% of the FLR that is intended for distribution will be distributed, and it's going to be 15% initially. That's what the token distribution event is, which is occurring in 1 hour and 20 minutes. And the remaining 85% will be distributed in monthly increments, equal increments every month for a period of 36 months. Now, the method is yet to be determined. That's what the proposal is all about, but I'll be sure to make some more videos about that to clarify any questions once the proposal is live and we're a bit closer. Soraya, congrats on 60k. Thank you very much. It's a huge milestone. Just grinding on the way up to 100k. That would be the absolute dream. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Here we go. Here's a good question. Big deal, Derek. Quite a big deal if you didn't know. I had WFLR on Bifrost on the Songbird network. Can those tokens be used on the Flare network? They're actually a scam, right? WFLR is wrapped FLR, and FLR is the native asset of the Flare network. So yeah, anything that you see with FLR on the Songbird network, it's not a thing. Hey, we've got Legendary with the $2 donations. Thank you very much. That's actually going to be going to charity, as is all of the I guess super chats for the next 3 months are going to be helping save the children. So thank you very much. Legendary asks, who financed the FLR network development? I think there was quite a few seed investors. I believe one of them was Ripple. I can't reel them off the top of my head. I'm going to have to do a bit of digging to do that. But if you follow the DeFi banker on Twitter, he's created a very comprehensive document which breaks down all of that information and talks about some of the seed investors as well. Scott Denick, will FLR just show in my existing Bifrost wallet I use for SGB delegating? That really depends, right? Because, you know, if you created a Bifrost wallet from scratch, then it's not going to happen because Bifrost came out after the Songbird network, right? The only way that you're going to receive into Bifrost is if you went through the self-custody process and, you know, you set your Ethereum address, but then you imported that Ethereum account into Bifrost. Hey, Michael Spazowski, thank you very much. If I buy FLR on Bitrue now, can I delegate? Yeah, so the FLR on Bitrue right now, it's an IOU, right? And as Doc Bob C mentioned above, Doc Bob D, sorry, mentioned above, he said that it's going to be exchanged pretty fast. So you're going to buy the IOU, and then shortly after the token distribution events, within the next, you know, I imagine 4 hours or so, it's going to be exchanged for FLR, and you're not really going to notice a difference. It's basically going to be the only difference that you're going to notice is that you're going to be able to withdraw it. Now, you can't delegate on an exchange. What you need to do is withdraw that to a wallet. You know, I'd highly recommend Bifrost if you're looking for some free software. And yeah, that's probably the way to go. Remove it from the exchange and start delegating. Hey, we've got Senior Stake. Welcome to the Flare community family. Thank you very much for the support, my friend. And Michael, I just wanted to say a big thank you for the donation. Again, that's going straight to charity, as is all of the super chats for the first quarter of this year. What other questions do we have? Hello, are there any differences on the delegations that you pick? Yeah, there certainly is. So you can actually use various websites which will give you metrics on the statistics, which are really important for you to make a decision on which is the most accurate signal provider. So you can use a site called flaremetrics.io. That's probably recommended, and it's going to allow you to make the most informed decision. And the two metrics that you want to look at is the vote power cap, which is capped at 2.5%, and finally the reward rate as well, excuse me. Hey, we've got James Hugh with the donation. Thank you very much. $2. Very much appreciated. It's going towards Save the Children, as I mentioned earlier. I'm actually so impressed with how far we've come recently because, you know, I think that we started the charitable efforts just over a week ago, and we're already doing pretty well. I'm going to try and maybe look into getting some sort of indicator on the screen so that we can sort of track that as a community. But yeah, it's a really worthy cause, and I'm appreciative to everyone who donates. So thank you very much, James Hugh. What other questions do we have? Will we be able to delegate using MetaMask? Certainly, I'm going to create a video on that, the ultimate delegation guide. It's going to be coming out at some point within the next, I imagine, 12 hours, because I'm not going to sleep until I get it done. And you know, it's kind of getting late here in the UK. I mean, at the minute, 10:45, but I still got plenty of hours left in me. I had quite a few coffees today. Hey, we've got Tasmanian member for 15 months. Proper OG. Wow, thank you, Tasmanian. It sure has been a wild ride. Thank you for the support for such a long time. FC, is there any news on how to earn Y assets? Not at the minute. You know, the Y assets is going to be, actually, I take that back. Yeah, so Y assets, for those who don't know, Y assets are going to be wrapped assets on FLR Finance, right? And when someone wraps an asset on FLR Finance, just bear with me, this service hasn't gone live yet, but when they do, there's going to be a fee that they pay, right? And that fee is going to be sent to the APY cloud. And the APY cloud is basically going to distribute that to all the holders of YFIN and YFLR. Hey, legendary, little more for the kiddies. Thank you very much. $4.99 US. That's very generous of you, my friend, and I really do appreciate it on behalf of all those that you are helping across the world. Will FLR be on DEXs today? That's a good question. Sure. So there is a DEX that has launched. It's called Blaze Swap. That's the only one that I'm aware of that's already set to go. So once people have FLR, they're going to be able to trade it on the DEX. But the other question is maybe, what is it going to be paired to? I don't think it's going to be paired to anything right now, because I'm not sure if there are any issued assets that are that have any form of utility at the minute. Maybe there's some, but I don't know if they're going to be traded. So yeah, I guess it's going to be quite stagnant, a little bit stale for a while until we see some more assets on the network. Apollo T-Rex thank you for the question. Most exchanges will distribute the token to their customers within 2 weeks of the initial distribution today, meaning that today we will not have our FLR tokens with us. That really depends on the exchange. So the token distribution event, that's Flur's responsibility. They're going to distribute it to all of the self-custody wallets, all of the exchanges, right? But then there's going to be this period of time where the exchange needs to use their own internal information, this private information, to distribute to their customers. And, you know, some people like BeTrue, hope I said that right, and some of the other popular exchanges have already got this infrastructure and the tools in place to distribute it as soon as they receive it, or shortly after they receive it, right? So it's entirely dependent on your exchange. And if you're unfortunate to hold or have held XRP on Coinbase, sadly, you're going to be waiting a while, I think. Yeah, Eric asking about the proposal, if it passes, about the 15%. Yeah, there's one of the changes with the proposal is that in order to receive the remaining distribution, you're going to have to wrap your FLR. So I kind of like it. I'm quite a fan of it because, you know, I'm in favor of the network. I'm here for the long run, right? And I think there's a lot of people that are maybe salty about the SGB airdrop, people that held on exchanges that didn't receive their Songbird. You know, they sort of just have this negative opinion of the whole ecosystem. And, you know, I'm sure that many people just want to cash in for the next 3 years. And I don't know about you, being a fan of the network and a supporter, I don't want that negative selling pressure for the next 3 years. And I think it's great to sort of almost purge people out of it. And it also allows other people to come into the community. And I made this point actually in a Twitter space with Kingsman, right? So it's going to allow people that are not part of the XRP community who are receiving this airdrop to buy FLR and really get involved, right? Feel like an actual, really like a full member, you know. And another thing, one of the biggest benefits is removing this reliance on the exchanges for the next 36 months. As I said before, we've seen what happens to, or what has happened to Voyager, Celsius, FTX. You know, if your exchange goes under, it's going to be a sad day for you if the proposal doesn't pass. How close are we to S assets? No idea, my friend. I'm hoping that they get released this year. Maybe. We'll see what happens. It's a good question from Mr. SWJ 2009 ____. Are the FTSO rewards the most important factor to choose to delegate to? Definitely not. So some signal providers, they provide additional assets, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because especially with the vote cap being reduced, well, it's reduced on Songbird, but it's 2.5 initially on Fleur. So yeah, it's definitely not the only thing you should consider, but it's definitely up there. Joshua is asking, what do we look for when picking an FTSO? So just a little bit of clarification with the terminology here. There is only one FTSO, the Fleur Time Series Oracle. What you're delegating to is a signal provider, right? So these signal providers provide signals, provide price data, and the FTSO, the one FTSO, aggregates all this data and puts out a decentralized output, right? So yeah, just, I didn't mean to sound pedantic there. You're not delegating to an FTSO, you're delegating to a signal provider. So the two metrics that I would consider mainly is the vote power. You don't want that anywhere or too far over the 2.5 threshold, and also the reward rate. How accurate is that considered to be? I guess a third one would be any additional assets that you get or benefits for, you know, for delegating to them. So with X-Toads and S-Toads, you get S-Ribbits. With Oracle Swap, not Oracle Swap, sorry. With Flare Oracle, you get S-Fort, and I'm not sure if there's many others. But it's always an interesting concept to have an additional reward. I guess with FLR Finance, you're also potentially accruing SFIN as well, if you've got it within their farming pools, right? It's a good question from Pood in the Cereal. Oh, geez. Flare Community, do you have to delegate twice a week, or can you delegate not change it, and just collect the rewards up to twice a week? Yeah, basically, you know, with your wallet, you set a delegation. Let's say I want to delegate 50% to signal provider A, 50% to signal provider Y, and that's going to be your delegation set indefinitely unless you choose to remove it. So, you know, you could leave it for a year and you'll still be delegating to them. It's only if you cancel your delegation, or remove your delegation, should I say, or if you switch it to another signal provider, you can just leave it. You don't have to delegate each and every epoch, so don't worry about that. And I guess just another point as well, if you are, you know, still unsure about all of this delegation stuff, I would highly recommend jumping over to the Songbird network. And even if you're just playing with $5, you'll be able to get a grip for it. And the Songbird network, it's the Canary network. It's going to have all of the cutting edge features and functionality, not just from a protocol level, but also from the dApps as well. So that's NFT marketplaces and DeFi suites and whatnot. So How many wallets will receive FLR? Not sure. It's a good question. Yeah, Joshua, you know, from the spaces, Joshua was talking about the Fat Cats FTSO has by far the most generous reward structure. Yeah, they go deeper than just delegation rewards, right? I'm sure that they distribute some of their fees back to, portion of their fees, I'm not sure how much, but they distribute some back to the delegators too, which I think is really great. Lee, does my FLR airdrop go to my Exodus wallet? I've actually created a my last video actually. It talks about your Exodus wallet because there's a lot of people with this question. Exodus wallet is not supporting the Flare network, at least it's not currently. What you will need to do is you will need to withdraw the extract the private keys and then import that into an application like MetaMask. And then you'll be able to have all the full bells and whistles. To be frank, with the $25 bomb for the kids, congrats everyone, we made it. Thank you very much, to be frank, and I know you've been a long time supporter of the channel. You're a proper OG, so thank you very much for that, and I'm sure they will appreciate it, and I'll thank you on their behalf. It's very generous of you. Here we go. So we are actually just closing up on 1 hour left, and you know, instead of me just talking to you guys, I actually quite like this, you know, with the Q&A things. I feel like I can really just reel off some quick answers for those who have questions. But you know, for a bit more of a richer conversation rather than just a one-sided thing, I'm pretty sure we should maybe head over and migrate to the Discord. There is a link in the description for anyone that wants to join, and then we can have a back and forth. You know, it's not just me reading the comments and talking to you, because I know sometimes you have follow-up questions, but it's also great to build that excitement with the community, and I really love connecting with people on a deeper level, you know. So I'm probably going to wrap up things here, and we're going to head over to the Discord. If you scroll right to the bottom, you'll see a stage, and yeah, Death Ranger, my fingers need a break. Yeah, I can see the smoke coming off them, almost like the coffee that you see on the screen. Oh my god, Wayteller coming in last minute with the £17.99 donation. Thank you very much, Wayteller, and I hope that everything's sorted with you. You know, I know that yeah, I hope that you're all well, and thank you very much for the donation. There we go, Death Ranger on point with the link for the Discord. Right, let's wrap it up here. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you're excited for the TDE. It's happening in just over 1 hour's time. Thank you to everyone that donated, and just recognize that it is going to a good cause. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I hopefully see you in the Discord. Until next time, I'm out.
We have liftoff.